Okay, I know the last one was a little bit of a slog. It was a long one. This one should be a little bit faster. We're going to do the edit and delete pages for a person. So the edit one, pretty simple. It's very similar to the details, but I'll go ahead and add this. Add razor page. This will be edit. Okay. On the code behind, we're going to copy from the index page and then just change what we need to change, because realistically, we're loading in a DB context, we're loading in a person, and then we're doing something. It's that simple, right? So edit model. Got to do our, oh, I used index, didn't I? Whatever, it's not that much different. Should use the details page, but deal. Okay. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to decorate this property with something to let the code know that this is the object that the page is really about. The reason we're doing that is because then we don't need to do anything as far as loading it back in when it comes from the page or anything like that. You don't even have to give values to form fields, and I'll show you what this means in a couple seconds, but we're say bind property. We're telling it that person is the bind property of the page. That's what we're doing something with, right? So let's do this. So we're going to do something a little bit different on this page. We're going to do async. We're going to do a task by action result on get async. And you always return something from, so this is the type that we're returning. Basically, we're going to tell the page to do something this time, as opposed to just loading some stuff in and letting the page draw it. Turn page, just doing this so it gets rid of the error. So that is our on get async. So the load is still the same as it was on the details page, not the other page. So the load is the same, right? Except we really don't care about the if it's greater than 0 or not. I mean, we're going to create a new one if not, but the idea is we're able to edit. If we edit an empty person, we're saying this is a new person. So in this case, say int 0. So we're saying in this case, we're actually editing. What's going on here? Right there. Oh, I need to await this. This is not thread safe stuff. It's difficult to and then I need to say async here. And you need to include framework core. Okay, so explaining a little bit about this. This is thread safe, making it thread safe. So this is saying, I know this may take a while. Wait on it to be done before you do the assignment. Asynchronous operations, I could call this and leave. It could take an hour and I could come back and look at it. And this too. I'm not 100% sure on the necessity of this. I could do it as on get probably and still just make it work. But I think this is the way that the bind property works, is that it's got to be asynchronous. So just understand that's the deal. And now, remember what I told you before, get means stuff you're posting through the browser's query string, right, of the actual address bar. Post is what you're posting from a form. We're going to be posting via a form the stuff that we are submitting in the form, right? So we're going to do that in public async task by action result on host async. Okay. And again, I know that this is the bind property, so I know that what it's done is when it posted the form, it filled in this person for me. You got to understand these things happen individually, right? So the form being submitted, it doesn't care about anything that isn't loaded up on the page, except for if you say bind property, it's saying give me that from the submitted form into here. Okay. So there's two things I need to look for. Is this a new one or is it an existing person? Well, how do I know? Well, that's if the person ID is 0, then it's a new one, right? So if this dot person ID is greater than 0, I know it's an existing one, then I need to tell the database that this has been changed. So I say this dot db context dot attach this dot person dot state equals, say, entity state dot modified. Make sense so far? Else, I'm adding a new one to this. So I say this dot db context dot persons dot add this dot person. Okay. Then await for it to save. Okay. Now I just need to return something. So what do I want to do after I have saved a person? Do I want to stay on the page? No, I want to go back to the list page, right? So that's what I will return here. I'm just going to redirect to slash, which means the home page, which is the index. I could very easily just say index here, and it would go to the same location, but index is the shortcut. This is the shortcut to the index page. So that's all I need to do here. That's all I need to do on this page. Now I need to implement a form that can allow me to edit these fields or send in a hidden field for the person ID. So that's what I'm going to do now on the edit.cshtml page. First of all, I want to say view data title equals edit person. Because I don't know whether the person's new or not, I don't want to say edit Michael Mail or something stupid like that. So I'll just say edit person. Okay. So let's start out with just our normal header stuff. Copy off of an existing one. Save before we mess up something. We'll just say edit / create person. Good enough. Create another div. This is where we'll have our edit form. So let's make sure it's got text align center. I mean, I'm not trying to make it too pretty. So say text align center, and I'll do some style stuff. I don't want it to be super wide, so I'll say width 400 pixels. And I'll do center it by doing margin left, auto, margin right, auto, and that's enough of that. So our form, we want to say method is post. That way it will go to the post async method. So say post. Okay, so now anything we put in here, we can post back to that method. So let's do these in divs. And let's do a label. We'll just say first name. And we'll do input. Now this is where we get a little crazy. This is not normally part of HTML. This is telling that when the page is rendered, render it properly for this object. So you'll see in just a second. So ASP-4 colon or equals, sorry. And I say person dot first name. Remember, it knows that it's binding to a person object, and it even has the exact object it's binding to. So what this will do is fill in the value and fill in a proper ID and name for this field so that it's posted back properly. We don't even have to worry about it. And class, we'll say equals form control. This will keep it nice and clean looking. And that's first name. We'll copy this and do last name. And then finally, equals form group. We'll put in input type equals hidden ASP-4 equals person ID. So we don't want to see that. Then we can do our input type equals submit. Value equals submit. I'll do a little style on it. BTN is a class that's part of the Bootstrap framework. And then I'm also going to do a button for cancel. Cancel. Class equals BTN, TN dash primary. Just to keep it easy, I'm going to do on click. This is not good current coding techniques, but I can do it because I'm just demonstrating. Window dot location dot href equals slash. So I'm just saying on click, ignore everything. And I'm going to say turn. What this does is if I didn't do this, it would just submit the form when you click the cancel button. What I'm doing is saying ignore everything and just jump back to the page, the listing page. So that should do it. We should have a working edit page. So we'll check it out. Browser, around wrong screen. So here you got Michael Mail, edit. And as you see, it pre-filled out everything. You should be able to change the name to Michael Malo, submit. I'm going to create a new person. I'm going to create it for my other dog, Brandy Lee. Click cancel. Canceled, fine. Say Brandy Lee, submit. And you see Brandy Lee's there. And indeed, you can see that Brandy Lee is in the database. So stop for now. And you'll right click, new data, refresh it. And you'll see there's Brandy Lee and Michael Malo. Change it back. So now we've got these objects here. So that's what happened. It wrote it all to the database. Now for the delete, it's even simpler here. Even simpler. Add new item. And there's other ways to do this. You can do it with controllers. You don't even need a page or anything like that. I'm just doing this to keep it in .NET Core without any questions. So delete. I don't even care what's on the page. All I'm doing is on get, I'm deleting it, right? So I want to get some code from my details. And my person. A little crazy. We'll get all this. And then I'm just literally going to fill in. So this is delete model instead. This dot person dot this dot db context dot delete or remove, sorry. Stop person. And this dot db context dot save changes. And then at the end of that, whether or not I had a person ID greater than 0, I want to redirect. So that's another reason to use the async waiting. And then I can do return to the list page. So return redirect to slash this. Do this. And that should do it. That should do the delete for me. So let's check it. We'll delete Brandy. Poor Brandy. And if it works, we're good to go. I've been testing these along the way. I did not test this one, so that's great. So Brandy, delete, and sure enough, it works. So there you go. We can check the database to make sure. Persons, fresh, Brandy's gone. So there you go. That is the delete and edit page. Next thing we're going to do is just real quick, we're going to cover edit and delete of phone numbers, and then you will be responsible for creating edit and delete pages for the addresses and email addresses. Thanks.